Alrighty guys, wanted to go through real quick my double kayak trailer setup and kind of show you how I've rigged up my 2015 Hobie Revo and my 2015 Hobie Outback. So we'll start over here with the Revolution. This is a Revolution 13. Just picked it up not too long ago, secondhand used from a guy, and he did a lot of mods to him. So I've just kind of added some new stuff and getting it set up. We do a lot of offshore fishing, so this is basically an offshore setup, but can be used for a lot of different uses. Reliable fish bag. Heard lots of good things about them. Actually haven't used one yet, so I'm excited to use it. Oversized zipper and stuff like that look really durable. So didn't enjoy the bungees too much for the center hatch here, so went with some locks, some rubber locks, and inside got the Hobie battery holder to the sail mount. Battery's inside charging, that's why it's not in there right now, but went with the just a little carabiner clip on the underside of here where the bungee starts to, and just hold the wiring up off the bottom, and then this will just clip out and plug in when I need it to. It's super easy, and I feel like these just hold a lot better and they're not going to stretch out over time, etc. Went with a little ram mount up front just to mount different camera accessories and stuff like that if I needed to. Pad eyes to hold the fish bag in. These came on the kayak, the Hobie rod tip protectors, but I probably won't have much of use for them. So H-rails came installed. I believe these are the Hobie Pro Angler 12 upgraded ones. And I think he had to cut them down just a little bit to get them to fit, but they go all the way back on each side, just past the back molded rod holders here on each side. So I went ahead and put the Lowrance Hook 7 on here. It's a great unit. I like the size and just its capabilities as far as SD card and keeping spots and uploading spots and stuff like that. The rubber mesh pockets came with it as well, and on the inside he just had a deep drop dish in here, which is nice for keeping the phone and stuff like that. Back here on the seat, I installed the extra mat pockets that came with it on the side, just to keep like little stuff like this, any snacks or Pop-Tarts, stuff like that. I like the seat being in the high position. I know people say it messes your stability and stuff like that. I've never really had a problem, especially since I have the Hobie sidekicks that'll be out on the side, just even offshore in some rough weather. And something I hated about the Vantage seat is when you lift up, these things, well, you'll see on the Outback, because I haven't done it yet, they fall down. And what I've done is just flipped around the bungee cords to where they want to flip up and not flip down. So you'll see here, you actually have to push them down to get the seat to go in the low position. And even with the seat in the low position, if you were to just bring it up, they'll pop back in the high position, and they'll want to stay that way. And we've all had it happen, you're offshore and getting some rough weather, the seat rocks and just falls down in the low position. Then you gotta get up and stand on the front, and just not very user friendly. So got a little ruler on the old paddle here. Went with the H-rail, Hobie H-rail rod holders. Love them, very adjustable and usable. This is what I use to troll for king, stuff like that. Got rod leash and all that good stuff on it. Got one on each side. Got the tackle bin over here, so I keep my VHF radio, extra rigs, sabiki rigs, and stuff like that. If I were to need it, got the Hobie H crate. I got this when I got the kayak, and it's awesome. Bunch of room back here for just tackle boxes and stuff like that, real deep. Got two of the NRS kayak bilge pumps, always just good to keep on hand, and a good life jacket with the high back seat on it. Love that one. It's just very comfortable and usable, and you can keep some stuff on you if you need it. Little cup holder back here, keep some water with you. Put 3 extra rod holders back here so I can carry up to 7 rods. Should have absolutely no reason to do that. Boondocks landing gear was installed. It came with the regular tires, so I have the regular tires if I need to, but I do a lot of off the beach fishing, so went ahead and picked up the beach wheels. When I go by myself or I go solo, this is the kayak I'm going to take, so I like the idea of having the Boondocks landing gear, because I can drop these up and down by myself without having to tip it over and plug the Hobie card in, but it's got the sailing rudder as well. Jumping over here to the Hobie Outback. Same, like I said, 2015. Put the pad eyes on here for the bag. It came with it. Just got the little hatch in here. Got the fish finder wire. Just need to pick up another Hobie battery cover. Gonna do the same thing. Mount it to the sailing mast underneath there. But it came with the anchor trolley installed kit. I believe this is the Yak Attack one that you can slide back and forth, and then you can lock to hold in position, which is really nice. Don't use anchors a ton, but if I do, it'll be good to have. It's nice and tight. He installed that very well. Went with the 21-inch H rails on the Outback here. These two ram mounts came with it when I bought it, and I just really didn't have a use for them. And obviously, I love H rails, so mounted one on each side. This is kind of my second kayak for, if my girlfriend wants to use one or a buddy comes and wants to use one. So I wanted a fish finder on here. This is the Elite 4. And, it's good. It has GPS and marking, but they don't need, something oversized and overwhelming, because not everybody uses one a lot and uses one as much as I do. So on both of these kayaks, how I wired it up is I ran 2 of the Hobie through-hole wiring systems on here on each side. I couldn't get these Lowrance things are giant, and I couldn't get both of them to fit through one, so I just installed 2 and then plugged up the other side. The square hatch here, it was installed when I picked it up. That was a little different that it was sideways and not in the center, but it's really not that big of a deal, and still seems very usable, obviously. And this bin came on the inside. I think I want to pick up the Hobie bin that fits on the inside just so it doesn't slide around a bunch, but it serves its purpose. This is what I was talking about with that seat. For those of you who didn't understand my gibberish, up in the high seat or high position, you pick it up, snaps in and falls down. So I'm gonna do that mod on this one as well, and I can make a video of that. Went with the Scotty Zuka tubes, or whatever they're called, for this kayak. Super simple. You can remove them if you don't want to use them for trolling, but they're super easy to adjust, and they're very solid. Went with the locking nut and stuff like that on each side, and then did pad eyes on each one for rod leashes and stuff like that. This one did come with the large 230 Trax wheels, so this is good for a second kayak, just because if I'm taking 2 kayaks out, obviously I have another person with me, so I can, you'll have help for lifting it up and plug it in, but they're not very fun by yourself. I've had to do it many a time, dumping the kayak on its side with all the gear and stuff like that, trying to get them to plug in by yourself. Another NRS kayak bilge pump. Just got a little milk crate back here for miscellaneous stuff and extra tackle boxes that they might have. Probably going to put some rod holders back here on it, but nothing elaborate. These are the Yak Attack rod extenders. And then just got another gaff over here, and then it's got the sailing rudder and such. And over here, I use for my kayak, I use the gaff on the Ram Zuka tube, and it's just small basic Bass Pro $14 gaff. But I like keeping it up. I know where it is at all times, and it's easy to get to. And I know exactly where to reach and stuff like that. As far as the trailer goes, well, here real quick, actually the Mirage drives I store them here. Works super simple with just in between a couple pieces of wood, lift up, slide out, lift up, sits in, and they float there. There's no pressure on anything, and works pretty good for storage. The trailer is just a basic 4x7 Tractor Supply Co. utility trailer. I picked it up when I bought my mower a few months ago, and basically all I had to do was I repainted it, ran new lights on it, so it's got 3 running lights down each side, 6 total, new LED brake lights, stuff like that. And then the trailer tongue was too small, obviously, so I got a 8-foot 3x2 galvanized steel trailer tongue to extend it out and make it long enough so the kayaks weren't jamming into the car. And then did your basic uni-strut across it, and I'll show you here. The only thing I had to do for these U-bolts to get them to fit without sliding was just kind of cut them down here so they fit in. One, that's to get them to fit to bolt just how I wanted them, and also your uni strut isn't going to slide when it's bolted into that. And then just did the PVC to the uni strut, covered the ends with pool noodles so no one opens up their leg. But it fits good. Kayak's got some rash on it, but Nothing that a kayak shouldn't have, but they fit, you know. This is the 3-inch PVC pipe. I just use the whole 10-foot. You can cut it down, obviously. I don't need all this, but I go ahead and leave them on there. And 11.5 inches on center. And then I like the spacing on this is good because they both fit. They're not, you know, over the outside of the trailer. And I can also, if I needed to, setting them up when you get to your spot and stuff, I can step up here on the middle of the trailer here and, you know, jack with this, set up this on each side of the kayak before we actually take them off the trailer. So I wanted to be able to step in the middle here and access both sides. So I think that's everything. Any questions, feel free to PM me and stuff like that. This isn't the end all to be all to setups. This is just how I like it and how I set up my Outback and Revo. Thanks for watching.